Hello. Right now it is June 18th and it's 4:45 a.m. The reason I'm making this video right now is due to the fact that I have been deprived of sleep all night long. And I've been deprived of sleep all night long by the same girl in law enforcement who's been torturing me since the night of June 7th. The night of June 7th, the May 10th artificial intelligence report for the brain savant test came out. And she started torturing me with severe mental torture drugs as soon as it came out. And then she would do things like stroke my penis, touch my rectum, and things of that sort of nature to try to force me to go to her. Then on June 13th, the night of June 13th, she would do things like touch my tongue right over there and then make my rectum feel like it was really wet. And then she would stroke the front and bottom part of my penis. Last night, as in June 18th, the entire time she started off with hitting my right testicle very brutally, feeling like it was being hit with steel rods. And then she would do things like stroke my penis, touch my rectum. And all night. And then later on, after I thought that if I would complain to the government, that they would stop doing that. And it's a little embarrassing to talk about it. What can I say? At 2:35 a.m., June 18th, last night, I did put in a note in there for the government to actually look into it, because she was doing things like hitting my right testicle very brutally, and then afterwards she would stroke the front and bottom part of my penis, and it would feel like someone's inserting something into my rectum. And then after that she started using they're not letting me talk. She started using the same torture tool, feeling like you're being hit with steel rods, except she started hitting my calf muscles on my leg. And then she started stroking my penis and then touching my rectum. If someone says they don't want to marry you, they don't want to marry you. You can't force someone to marry you using these torture tools that are literally like, if I was to tell the government, like right now look at the clock. It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I literally have like 10 minutes left till it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And I've been tortured like literally all night long. All to try to force me to accept the marriage request by a girl over a brain savant test. I really feel like these things should be kept like between me and the courts and not people in law enforcement, because they're really selfish and they've only used the government and resources for their own selfish things since 2001. Sex schemes, money fraud, everything is still going on. And right now, law enforcement's had 4 narrators. All 4 of them have been found to be extremely guilty, working due to nothing else but extreme envy and greed. Every single narrator was motivated by greed or envy or both in order to try to frame me. 2023, law enforcement ran money fraud, sex schemes the entire year only to try to frame me for a wedding incident that I told them straight out I wasn't present in. I couldn't have had anything to do with, and I told the courts that law enforcement definitely committed the crime by covering over it, and all their BFFs in the family were all involved. I was absolutely right. After 2023, they were never allowed. My dad, the Greedy Framer, and his Framer sisters, November 20th, you saw what happened. Government had to put aside the vaccine issue for that time. More lies afterwards, early March 2026. They caught with those, with the government informant. Then they tried to greedily get me to sleep with his disgusting fat sister named Farah, the Greedy Framer. He was told on February 11th, this porn star's picture with his sister's name on it. That's open request for incest. He didn't care on March 7th because he wanted the money, the brain savant money, instead of my mother getting it. March 7th, he sent it to me again 3 times for his big fat ugly old sister, Farah the Greedy Framer. This man claims to be a medical doctor. You think a medical doctor would ever do this? Obviously not. He's never even given his board exams. That's why he's acting like this. And it's all law enforcement's fault because they went around telling everyone about the monetary potential for it. What was their job? They never did. They never did an ounce of investigation for anything. The entire year of 2023, when they were trying to frame me for this wedding incident, guess what? They were running money fraud, sex schemes the entire year. And the facts and evidences show that I have never been in any setting where anything even remotely considered bad could ever even be said around me. My mother's never been heard uttering one bad word considered bad her entire life. I'm sorry for sounding rude, but it's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. If I was tortured, like in Russia, when I was in Russia for 25 days, they tortured me because of November 20th. Did you get one video from me? Did you get one video from me? None. Did you even get a complaint on my email about me being tortured? No, I didn't do it. Why? Because there was an excuse. Even though the excuse was invalid, there was an excuse. And the excuse was November 20th, my dad, the greedy framer, got his framer sisters to make the false testimony against me. And the only two choices I had was either live with it or jump off, as in commit suicide. It was one or the other choices that I had. And law enforcement was brutally torturing me with mental torture drugs the entire time. I was in Russia for 25 days based on a testimony that they knew was fully fabricated, and yet they never cared. And they still used it to try to torture me after trying to frame me for November 20th. I never made one noise about it because I knew that there was a reason behind it. November 20th, the crime setting didn't exist. It was all made up, and the person fabricating was working for the government. I know, but since they had something, I couldn't really say anything. Right now, I've been tortured all night long. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and the only reason I've been tortured all night long is because a girl in law enforcement wants me to marry her, and she thinks that my brain savant's about to get freed very soon, which I'm hopeful it will be. And she's been torturing me all night. She started off with hitting my right testicle very brutally, feeling like being hit with steel rods. And then she would stroke my penis, touch my rectum, do all of that. Then I told her to stop. She didn't listen. So at 2:35 a.m., I put in a note for the government. So someone would take note of this and stop her from trying to force me to marry her. Even if I pretend to say yes, let's say I pretend to say yes, she's going to annoy the living heck out of me. Okay. I just want to be left alone. And she knows that. Anyways, I just told her to leave me alone. And she didn't listen. So after 2:35 a.m., she started hitting my calf muscles really brutally, feeling like being hit with steel rods. It's almost like 5 o'clock in the morning right now. I've been up all night being tortured by a person who wants to marry me out of force, only because she was given the artificial intelligence report for May 10th, which law enforcement has given everyone. By now, all 4 of the narrators for law enforcement have all been found to be extremely envious of my brain savant. So the law enforcement 2023, extreme envy, they didn't want to let me study after August 25th, 2023. When I won my case and I asked them to let me study, they didn't want to let me study. So they fabricated a false testimony based on a wedding incident that I was neither present in nor did I ever speak of with my own mouth, despite being watched 24/7 since I was an 11-year-old child. All I've done my entire life is work hard. Facts and evidences will show that me and my mother, we've done nothing our entire lives except for work hard. I would literally run on 2 sandwiches and a pack of ramen noodles throughout my entire school, and I would sleep on the side of the street with lizards near my overseas pharmacy school. Okay, everyone made billion excuses then. Right now, everyone wants me inside their house because law enforcement illegally went around telling everyone about my brain savant, which they were not supposed to be doing. What they were supposed to be doing, they never did. All they did was run sex schemes and money fraud the entire time. And right now, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, everyone knows about my brain savant artificial intelligence report from May 10th, due to which I've been tortured all night long, trying to force me to marry a girl from law enforcement whom I do not want to go with. Before 2:35 a.m., I was being tortured by hitting my right testicle very brutally, feeling like being hit with steel rods. Then she would stroke my penis and then feel like something's being inserted inside my rectum. Then after 2:35 a.m., she started hitting my calf muscle on my leg very brutally, feeling like being hit with steel rods. Then she would stroke my penis and then make it feel like something was touching my rectum. I've had it with this. Okay, law enforcement hit my car on December 10th when the November 14th test results came out. I'm sick and tired of this BS. Okay, I've had it, and like literally, this is no reason to be torturing someone. After November 20th, even if it's false testimony, I made absolutely zero noise. I knew I had to go alone. Whether I just dealt with it or I jumped off, I had to do it by myself because there was a testimony made against me, even though it was false, obviously. I would never commit a crime. I'm not that stupid. And me and my mother have done nothing my entire life except for work hard. And so that was the second set of framers or narrators. My dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters. They're a bunch of liars. Every single statement they made against me was a lie. Whether it was November 20th, raised mass panic and chaos, and more set of lies, early March 2026, that created mass panic and chaos, only to be found out as being confessed lie to the government informant. Then they made more set of lies after that. Before those lies, they're not letting me talk right now. They greedily tried to get me to commit incest with his sisters, thinking that no more lives are going to be taken anymore. But when he saw that I was not going to commit incest with anyone, and I'm not sharing my money with anyone. I'm not giving it to anyone, okay? It was my secret. It wasn't supposed to be told to anyone in the first place. And law enforcement illegally told everyone about my brain savant before August 25th, 2023, and I told everyone after August 25th, 2023. So obviously there was a brain scanner that they had. Now, the thing about it is, when my dad, the greedy framer, realizes that I'm not sharing the money, then he goes into aggressive mode and he says, yes, this time I'm telling the truth. And the courts are forced to retrieve every single phone conversation, only to find out that he was lying again. And I told the courts as soon as the phone conversations were retrieved, Your Honor, let me tell you the results from the phone conversations retrieved. This time, once again, my dad, the greedy framer, lied about every single thing that he said. And yes, obviously, that's what came out. He just wants the money for himself. Whether he has to get his sisters to commit incest with me, and his big, fat, ugly old sisters, who just 2 days ago were sending me ads for their daughter, Zara, who's like this abnormal, weirdo-looking girl. Like, they want me to marry her out of greed now. Like, June 16th, I think it was like 10:56 p.m., 2 nights ago, and a bunch of other times as well. And then, so these were the second set of narrators for law enforcement. Third set was Asad, the greedy framer, Asad the envious weirdo fabricator. Okay, yeah. So basically, Asad was, I told the courts right away. As soon as I heard the name, I was like, I can guarantee you whatever the wedding incident was, he was present there. He knew about everything. Whatever Bushra Akhtar was telling me in 2019, I abrupted her, told her I didn't want to know. I never knew anything remotely considered bad. I didn't want to know that. And Asad would know about all of it. Okay, he'd be involved in all of it. And that's what the court found out. That was true. Asad was. And you know what? The thing is, so Asad was the third set of narrator. Fourth set was Miss Deb. And Miss Deb was totally over me in 2024. And then what happened was, Miss Deb switched sides as soon as she realized that I wasn't going with her daughter. So she was enviously trying to lock up my brain savant. The thing about Miss Deb is, Miss Deb switched sides again. And right now she's been sending me Ashley's Furniture ads again. Yes, and it was no secret that she would switch sides. All four narrators found to be extremely envious and greedy for my brain savant money. All four illegally told by law enforcement about my brain savant, including the first one, law enforcement themselves. They're not supposed to go around telling people about things that have nothing to do with law enforcement work. They did. They told everyone about my brain savant potential, money, everything about it, due to which every single one of them were literally envious of me. Or like last night, there was a girl from law enforcement, and she's extremely greedy. She just wants my brain savant money, and she wants to force me to marry her, which I will not do. And I'm not making fake promises with anyone. And I've assured the government, like, there's no excuse for sexually harassing someone. I don't want to be touched, and I don't want to be be touched. You know, it's that sort of thing. When I get my Brain Savant and I get my tablet, I go into studying and I work on my things. You know how much time it's going to take me to get my first work done? Probably around 30 days. And law enforcement is probably going to try to argue about that. The thing I have to say is, if you can't stare into reality for 30 minutes, you can't do a 30-minute Brain Savant test to help save your life when you're so cowardly that you can only do less than a minute long test, and then you quickly turn everything off and then run away, and you're like, don't say the word Brain Savant in front of us, because you know what the result's going to be. And the results come out a month later only for law enforcement to get some girl to hit my car like how they did on December 10th while she was stalking me, because law enforcement was helping her stalk me. And it was only based on November 14th Savant test result. And right now, I've got a girl from law enforcement who's been torturing me all night long to try to force me to marry her, which I will not do. You're not supposed to be marrying random people, okay? And I have no interest in whatever she's trying to do. Yeah. So I'm basically like sick and tired of this. This has nothing to do with law enforcement work, first of all, okay? And yeah, and they just made me forget using drugs. They just made me forget what I was trying to say. It's literally like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've been tortured all night due to wanting to force me to marry someone, and it's insane. You know, this is no reason to be torturing someone because you want them married to you. Yeah, it's just insane. And yeah, at the end of the day, I just want my Brain Savant powers. I just want to be able to study without anyone asking me for any money, okay? And the fact of the matter is, law enforcement cannot claim right now whether they think my first work, which is going to be coffee, and they know it's going to be coffee. They also know that I could memorize an entire textbook of something like medicinal chemistry in 1 day's time. How do they know this? Artificial intelligence has told them that. August 9th, 2022, April 22nd, 2025, June 5th, 2025, November 14th, 2025. Artificial intelligence has told them this over and over again. They've got the same report every single time, and just recently, May 10th, 2025. Law enforcement cannot argue whether I can memorize an entire textbook more than 1,000 pages long in 1 day or not. Why? Because artificial intelligence doesn't lie. And the other fact is, if it was lying, let's say artificial intelligence was on my side and I could somehow get it to say things I wanted it to say, I still cannot be psychic to guess what artificial intelligence was saying without someone actually telling me what the report said, or me basically telling the truth. That I do have savant powers and I can memorize a textbook in 1 day, and that's basically what law enforcement's motive's always been, due to which they were fabricating false testimonies against me starting 2023, while all they did the entire year of 2023 was run money fraud and sex schemes the entire year. And so, yeah, basically, they don't care about anything. In 2011, when my dad, the Greedy Framer, I've only seen him 3 times my entire life. In 2011, he was recruiting people to go out, mass murder innocent human beings from his house, giving sermons, because due to his 5-foot-long beard, people thought that he has mystical powers to get people's prayers answered. I'm not joking. You go ask people around, they tell you that he claims that he has mystical powers to get people's prayers answered, because of which he would give sermons from his house. And in order to make the sermons even more spicier, what he would do is he would tell them that they should go out and mass murder innocent human beings, something my mother has never been heard uttering her entire life. More than 25 years I've been watched with my mother. She's never known about any investigations, never been heard uttering one word considered remotely considered bad. She's the kind of person, like, I've had a brain scanner attached to my brain my entire life. Well, for a long time before July 1st, 2023. Never looked down on anyone of any race, religion, ethnicity whatsoever. Met Hindus, Christians, Jewish people, Orthodox Jewish people with big beards, same level of love and respect as anyone else. Brain scanner will prove it. My mother's the kind of person, not only has she never uttered one word considered bad racist her entire life, if I were to be if I were to ask her that I was going to marry a Jewish girl at a mall, her answer would be so nice. I'd feel bad. Like, man, I should have just asked this question at home. That's the kind of person she is. She's not like that at all. My dad is a psychopath. In 2011, law enforcement basically let him go after seeing that in 2011 he was basically recruiting people to mass murder innocent human beings. How many people have been murdered because of him? We don't know. How many people joined terror groups because of him? We don't know. The fact of the matter is, the only reason I'm making this video right now is due to the fact that it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been tortured all night because some girl in law enforcement wants me to marry her, which is incredibly annoying because the past few days I've been saying that, this person, I don't want to marry her. Excuse me. And right now it's undeniable about my brain savant, or the fact that I can memorize an entire textbook in one day's time. The only thing that law enforcement can argue about now is they'll be like, oh, we don't think he could do this, and he's going to make zero tolerance coffee in 30 days. Listen to what they're saying, okay? Artificial intelligence report clearly says that I can memorize a 1,000-page textbook of something like medicinal chemistry in one day. That's what the artificial intelligence report says. Each and every time I was tested. August 9, 2022, April 22nd, 2025, June 5th, 2025, what else? November 14th, 2025, May 10th, 2026. Every single one of those reports say that. They also say that my powers increase over time. There was also one mid-June 2023. And so basically, law enforcement is going to be like, oh, we don't think he's going to do it in 30 days. We don't think so. You don't think so? How about you stare at reality? You get some guts, look at reality for 30 minutes, do a 30-minute brain savant test to help save your life, and then you can talk. Whether it's going to take 30 days or 100 days, then you can talk. These people in law enforcement cannot do a 30-minute brain savant test to help save their life. All they do is they run their mouths. They run their mouths. That's what they're good at doing. This and that, scam artists, this and that. Last time they did this, I got sick and tired of it because I was just brainstorming in my living room, and I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Russia. And no, first, I was just like, I'm going to buy a Caesar machine tablet, these textbooks, this and that. And law enforcement was just like, oh, if you just heard what he just said, you've been scammed. I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to have to take you up on that then. I'll meet you in Moscow, Russia. So close to the Kremlin, I'll be able to see the 3 Golden Globes of the Kremlin from my hotel window. And we'll see it there. I stayed there for 25 days. Guess what? They did their little brain savant test for less than a minute, very cowardly test, looked at everything inside using artificial intelligence and a brain scanner, quickly turned everything off, ran away, never to talk about any brain savants or brain savant tests ever again. 25 days, I waited in Moscow, Russia, with my tablet turned upside down and the coffee cup on there, waiting 25 days every single day from that hotel room, looking at the 3 Golden Globes of the Kremlin. Guess what? Law enforcement I never heard one squeal from them. Scam artists, this, that, none of it. Okay, so yeah, if you want to argue whether it's going to take me 30 days or 100 days after artificial intelligence has already said that I can do an entire textbook of medicinal chemistry with more than 1,000 pages in one day's time easily, and with photographic memory cover to cover. If you want to argue whether it's going to take me 30 days or 100 days or not, how about you look at the truth and reality for 30 minutes first? Do a 30-minute brain savant test. Let everyone see what's there with their own human naked eye, not create drama like how they did in Russia for 25 days, and then we'll talk. Whether it's going to take me 30 days or 100 days or 1,000,000 days to get my first work done. And right now, I'm sorry if I sound cracky or irritated. It's 5:09 a.m. right now, and I've been up all night long because a girl wants me to marry her because she was illegally given the May 10th brain savant test result. Maybe she was because she works in law enforcement, but there's certain protocols you have to follow in this world. You can't just go do that to someone just because you want them to marry you. You know, it's like a bank employee finds out the amount of money someone has in their bank account and they just start stalking them, harassing them. That's not how it works, okay? Just because you've been given the report, you have torture tools, does not give you the right to torture me all night. Okay, I don't want to marry you. I don't want to marry you. Okay, I don't even have any money. You want to find some rich person? Just download an app on your phone. There are a lot of rich people on there. Leave me the heck alone. I'm autistic. All I do is memorize textbooks on my free time. Every single thing that I said about myself has been proven to be 100% exact, accurate, and truthful. Things that I never thought could be proven have been proven. I told law enforcement in the start that my autistic brain savant started off in early childhood, where I would watch documentaries all day as a child from morning till night, and I had this obsession with staring at the History Channel logo, and I would just stare at it as a child from morning till night. Even if there were commercials going on, I would wake up in the morning on the weekends, and then at nighttime, my mother would come over and turn off the TV and tell me to go to sleep. And law enforcement obviously had to argue about that. Beautiful lie, this and that. He makes up stories, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? The technology was there to actually test that out as well. So on January 20th, law enforcement was told, look, there's a way of testing that. Your computer system has it. So basically, they told the computer system, I have no clue how, ask them. They told the computer system, computer, lock up his entire brain, just let the childhood autistic part stay. They did. On January 20th, no one told me what was locked up, what wasn't. I felt the same exact way that I would as a child while I would watch documentaries because of what they did, because through the computer on my brain. That's how advanced this technology is. You have no clue what I just said. Okay? They locked up my entire brain and only let the autistic childhood part stay open to test out whether I was telling the truth on the fact that all I would do in my childhood was watch documentaries all day from morning till night, and it would give me some sort of a pleasure due to the autistic nature of my brain savant not having evolved at that time. Early stages of it. And they were able to tell their computer, lock up his entire brain, let the autistic childhood part stay. Computer did that. And January 20th, 2026, I got the exact same feeling I used to get as a child when I used to wake up in the morning on the weekends and I would watch the History Channel from morning till night till my mother would turn it off. Thereby, I was telling the truth about that. I have no clue how they did it. Even if they let my brain savant go, I can't do it. It's evolved. You got to understand, the brain savant's evolved. It started off from staring into the History Channel logo all day long and being obsessed with it, to being obsessed with textbooks, to then having all these powers with textbooks, to then having all these powers increase with textbooks. You got to understand, August 9, 2022 is just some of the powers. It's not all of it. It's very limited. It's still superhuman, but it's very limited. It goes even further. April 22nd, 2025, when my ears, like right now, they're all locked. When my ears were all the way on the back of my head, that's superpower. That's August 9th, 2022, those powers plus these powers combined, okay? June 5th, 2025, energy drinks, increased powers. That's August 9th, 2022, already superhuman powers. April 22nd, 2025, superhuman powers added with the energy drink from June 5th, 2025. Superhuman power boosted even more. And then you've got November 14th, 2025, where it's clearly written on the artificial intelligence report that my brain savant powers increase over time, which they found out June 15th, 2023, that it did, due to which after July 1st, 2023, they never let me stare into textbooks ever again. Guess what? November 14, 2025, they found out that my powers increase over time, making it the most rare brain savant in the world. Since the other brain savants, their powers don't increase over time. So yeah, I just gave in my entire story as well. I have no choice, okay? I've been deprived of sleep all night, and right now I'm gonna try to go to sleep now.